Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at the 1970 Dodge Super Bee F8 Green. I picked up off of eBay back in 2017. Purchased this car from the son of the original owner. The car had been sitting in a garage since the fall of 1978 and had the opportunity to beat everybody out on eBay to buy it and bring it back to life. From the time it went off the road until the time I purchased it, it'd been off the road for over 42 years. So take a look at the car and give me your thoughts. So in the fall of 2017, somebody posted a link on a Facebook page to an eBay auction for this car, 1970 Dodge Super Bee. Looking at the few poor photos that there were, I could tell it was a New Jersey car because of the old New Jersey inspection sticker that was on the passenger side of the window. New Jersey put its inspection stickers on the passenger side of the windshield through about 1983-84, varied by inspection facility. I basically took a gamble. I consulted with a good friend of mine, came up with a price that I felt was reasonable to take a chance on this car. It was sitting in the garage, no motor, covered in dust, dirt, all your typical garage find or barn find type of attributes, and sat up on a Sunday and waited until the last 10 seconds, put in my maximum bid, and I won it. And with it, got to meet the son of the original owner, got to hear some stories about the car, and had the joy of putting this back together. As we see here, this is the inspection sticker that was installed in May of 1978. So with New Jersey inspection stickers, whatever date is on them is when they expire, not when they were assigned to the vehicle. So this sticker expired in May of 1979. The story goes that the original owner took the motor out to be rebuilt in the fall of 1978. The motor was taken to a local shop, and there was a disagreement on some things with that, and ultimately it became a Mexican standoff. And about 84, the shop closed and the motor was lost and the car just languished. This car has a lot of its original interior components. The seats and the carpets had to be redone. They were just way too far gone. But the door panels, the dashboard, and steering wheel and so on, shifter, are all original. Right now I have the glove box door off as part of removing the heater core. That's the last remaining project for me, and I figured I'd yank it out before the winter storage and restore the box, and then in the spring I'll put it back in. Other than the seats and the package shelf and the carpet, everything else is original. All the correct original seat belts were in the car. The headrests are original, although the chrome on them has been replaced. The driver's side door hinge is one of the last projects to be done. The passenger side naturally is perfect, but the driver's side is a little bit lacking. In 1975, they decided to start doing some body work. Really wish that didn't happen, but it did. But ultimately, this is really what remains. This is as bad as the rust gets with this car, and it really, in today's day and age, it's nothing. Back in the day, this is a prime example of what was acceptable, which was putting chicken wire or anything else you could in order to then have the Bondo adhere. They continued that all along the trunk lid. This is a prime example of your typical trunk lid. In a different video on the 70 Coronet RT, we'll see that trunk lid is really nice, whereas this one exhibits all of the stereotypical issues with these trunk lids. The entire underside is just toast And again, more chicken wire in order to hold the Bondo. The trunk pan itself is beautiful for an original type of car. A couple old school patches here made out of aluminum. A couple little pinholes up top, and some rot around the wheelhouse on the passenger side. And again, one other little patch here. All of this is from the result or the outcome of a typical B-body lower window channel rot. This car has that. This car also, unfortunately, has exhibited some rot in the front window channel as well. Very unfortunate. It is what it is, and in the interest of originality, the car is going to stay that way, or at least during my ownership. Again, more of some of the amateur body work that was done all along the quarter panels, but for a 50 some odd year old car, this has survived pretty good. Some other imperfections in the paint. From what, I don't know. When I first acquired this car, it was covered in dust and dirt and paint overspray. Also some old bodywork here, really early old school bodywork. But the car was completely covered in little specks of paint, and here is one example. I don't know if it shows up well enough. Overall, the car has come out really, really well. Just like the Coronet RT in the other video, the driver's side filler panel is also damaged on this car. Really trying to find a nice original one in order to take care of that. And under the hood, well, under the hood looks original. Looks like this is the original motor. The reality is it's not. Through the power of Facebook, found a gentleman out in Ohio who had this motor from a 1970 Challenger. The motor was taken out of the car in 1982 and sat in his garage. It was pretty complete, basically from intake manifold, heads, valve covers, and didn't have the oil pan. But overall, it was an original long block in essence. And I was able to take this, take it apart, inspect everything, fresh gaskets, and put it back together and bolted it in the car. And the outcome is really what my goal was, to put something back into the car that looked like it had always been there. I'm not going to ever portray that this is a numbers matching car. The transmission naturally is, but not going to falsify as to what the car is. But it now fits the mode of the car, or the feel of the car, shall I say. This is the original radiator, was record. There are correct exhaust manifolds. Those were missing when I got the car. But a lot of the other components were in the trunk. The fan, the power steering assembly, the water pump pulley, the air cleaner itself. So a lot of components were able to be reinstalled on the car. We did refurbish the brake system front to back and retained all the original components, rebuilt them. This is the original master cylinder, which has been stainless steel sleeved, and then I had the lid and the bail properly plated. The starter is just an AutoZone replacement. New battery cables, new reproduction spark plug wires. Had the distributor recurved by Joe White. Looked him up, he does great work. He does not sponsor me. I'm just giving him due credit for what he's done for this car. The exhaust system is a correct reproduction. Well, it was supposed to be correct reproduction. It fits okay. My advice to people with these cars, just go buy ECS. You pay once and you're done, or buy once, cry once, as people like to say. This one, after some work and monkeying around and ultimately buying ECS tailpipes, was able to get it to fit properly. Here we can see how clean the chassis on this car really is. This is a prime example of how beautiful the floors are in this car. This car, because it sat all of those years, in a garage, it really managed to miss a lot of the nightmare, a lot of the abuse and use and rot and deterioration that these cars would normally be subject to. Sorry about the wonky camera angles. Bottoms of the fenders are absolutely beautiful. Pardon the dirt, but yes, I do drive my stuff. These wheels, this car originally came with Volcano wheel covers. About 2 months after the car was purchased, they returned to Reedman and they bought these 14-inch rally wheels. So these have been on the car since about December of 1970. The original owner took possession of the car in the last week of September or the first week of October of 1969. The son tells me it was early 69, but with a scheduled production date of 9/29, which I'll show the fender tag in a minute, I really think that the car was at the dealership later than that. Especially since also here the door sticker shows a build date of 10/69. Some old dealer service stickers. I love that kind of stuff. A little bit of rust in the corners of the doors, but overall the jambs and everything else are really nice shape. This is a Ledger green striped car. It's not white, it's actually green. So it's basically a triple green car. This her sticker has been on there since who knows when, and decided to keep it with the car. It's a very low option car. Again, SBD of 929. Not a heck of a lot, to show for it. Basically AM radio, power steering, and really that's about it. The car does have 2 build sheets in beautiful shape. And so there you have it, folks. This has been a really fun project. Spent a lot of time during 2020 getting it together and managed to put about 1,000 miles on it this season so far, without a hiccup. It's done the job. It's no powerhouse. It's just a great cruiser. But how often do you see an original paint car? And also a car that essentially, for all intents and purposes, I'm the second owner. So it's really been a privilege, and I will be taking the car back to the original owner, the son of the original owner, at some point, so he could see the work that's been done. He and I have kept in contact throughout its revival. So thanks for joining. Hope you enjoyed the video. There'll be more in the future as I proceed on other projects.